you at, Hoodats? And welcome to this week's episode of Pro Saints Talk. It's unfortunate, but the Saints fell again for the fifth time in a row, 27-17 to the boys in blue, the bad boys in blue. The good guys just can't catch a break right now, but we're going to break it down all for you here and look ahead to a winnable game. I'm calling it now, winnable game, y'all. Look, there's hope around the corner. And so, George, how we living, baby?
Lavish as always. And Ron, why we do this, why we have so much fun. One, it brings us together and brings us all the joy in the world in this holiday season. But two, it brings us together with fellow Rons. Last Saturday night, Iberia Bank parking lot tailgate, shout out Mrs. Eustace for having us over. Listen, we run into Brian C., who's quoting the podcast. I didn't know we had fan support like that. I want to give a shout out to Brian C. I didn't realize how involved the love was. So Brian C., and to all you Rons out there, big shout out to all y'all. Secondly, I owe my man Ron an apology because I gave Ron a lot of heat. I was mad at my dog because he didn't want to go to the Jesuit Championship game. He had bigger fish to fry. And then lo and behold, all these other guys said that they were going to come, but they didn't say it and mean it. They didn't walk the walk. They had all this talk, but they didn't walk the walk. At least Ron, he said he wasn't going to do it, and he didn't do it. Much better than all these other guys. I'm not going to call out guys like CUNY. I'm not going to call out guys like Cabos who say they're going full Ron and then come game time, stay on the sideline. So I do owe my boy Ron an apology. But, hey, Jesuit came up short. Saints came up short, but we can always look to the future. The future isn't really that bright for the Hoodats nowadays, but there's a lot to uncover and unpack. Jay, how you doing?
I'm good, baby. We got my PJ's iced coffee. We got the Instagram live rolling. Appreciate the two people in the chat. We got Leno, Eddie's Ready, 88. Two fans that never heard of, but appreciate them joining on this beautiful Friday morning. Future's bright. Unfortunately, the Vikings were able to pull out a victory last night, which can be taken as good or bad. The Saints move up a draft slot, but also makes that last playoff opportunity a little bit slimmer.
I don't like the narrative already, Jay. Dude, whoa. Look, stop all this. Oh, improve the draft pick stats. I thought we already established trust in Ireland, and we're going to make the best pick at the spot we're at. Play the season you're in right now, man. We're not out of the playoffs yet. So I'm tired of this doom and gloom. It's like, dude, the beatings will continue until morale improves around here, okay? And maybe that's indicative of the fact that we didn't get any fan questions on Instagram this week. I'm a little upset about that. But George, look, I wanted to kick this off with your opportunity to come on here and say, I told you so. I told you so. Taysom needed to be the starter the whole time. Look at what he did for us. But it wasn't meant to be so, George. What happened out there?
So, Ron, our boy Clickbait came in, and he provided excitement. And we appreciate the excitement he delivered. Because when Trevor Siemian's out there, oh, my God, that's a painful death. Whereas at least with Clickbait, it's an exciting death. And he brought a lot of energy. He actually moved the ball down the field, especially with those running plays. But between plays and on timeouts, you could see that finger was really giving him trouble. And I don't want to use that as an excuse as, oh, he didn't throw the ball well because of his finger, which is true. But it comes down even a level deeper because his style of play, how ferocious and physical and how bang, bang he plays, he is going to take hits that puts him out, or gets him nicked up, and it's going to affect his throwing. So it's very exciting. He can move down the field. However, he's going to get nicked up, and it's going to affect throwing. And that's always going to happen when Clickbait's quarterback. But I'm still happy he's in there because at least he moves the ball down the field.
George, I agree. I've had enough of Siemian. I don't need to see him anymore. I wish Sean Payton would call the game with Taysom Hill like he did in the second half with the finger injury. All of a sudden you come out, you got empty, you got more guys packed in there, tight end. He's running straight ahead. He ran for 100 yards. why do we think at this guy at 32 years old that he's going to be like a traditional quarterback, drop back, go through reads? And I wish Sean Payton and Taysom Hill in his own mind would just be like, this is what this guy is. This is who I am. If the first guy's not open, if the second guy's not open, tuck the ball and run. He wasn't hurt on a running play. He was hurt following through and hitting a helmet with his finger. He got plenty of yards. Jalen Hurts, Ron and I were talking. It was great to be back in the Superdome. We're talking at the game. And can this guy be Jalen Hurts? He's nothing fantastic. He's a good quarterback. He's the 12th to 16th best quarterback in the league. Maybe more accurate than Taysom Hill as a thrower, but he's a running back when he tucks the ball and he runs with it. And that's how you have success, and you counter off of that in the passing game. It wasn't until the second half with the finger injury that they started running the ball and had the design runs for Taysom. Can we please see more of that going forward?
Oh, yeah, Jay. No, we were clamoring for that in the first half. We were doing so many of those read options, and he was giving, and Ingram just didn't have it. Tony Jones just didn't have it, but it was wide open for the pull. And, I mean, let's be honest, he's our most dangerous threat running the ball. He only had 11 carries for 101 yards. It needed to be 16, 17, 18 carries for us to have a shot in this one. And hey, George, got to call the man out. That would have kept some of these turnovers at bay, man. 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter. I got a little bit of a theory for you here. You said you're done with Simeon, Jay. But what about the theory of, man, maybe Taysom's your guy, quarters 1 through 3. He keeps it close. And then you bring in fourth quarter Trev. I don't think he turns the ball over 3 times in that game. And maybe we pull something crazy out. I know that's ridiculous to talk about bringing in a totally different quarterback for the fourth quarter. But, I mean, it just fell apart there, George. I mean, was it really the finger? Was he trying to make too much happen? Was the Cowboys defense just figuring us out? What was it?
Ron, the first interception at the end of the half, the Saints were driving, I believe, to potentially go up 14-10. I was telling all the Cowboys fans next to us, it's going to be 14-10 at halftime. Kenny Stills jumps up for a jump ball. He has not caught one 50-50 ball all year. Hence, he's cut the next Tuesday. But you got to make that play for your quarterback. These receivers all year haven't made the 50-50 ball catch. They haven't made the tough catches. That's his first interception. That's not on him. That's on Kenny Stills. If he catches that, you're inside the 10-yard line. And then Cowboys go down the field. They kick a field goal. It's 13-7. That's a 10-point swing. That's all the difference. I don't ever need to see Trevor. I'm not saying Taysom Hill's the guy by any means, but I don't ever need to see Trevor Siemian take a snap for the Saints again. He's just vanilla. He is what he is. At least we lose with excitement with Taysom.
Yeah, Trevor Siemian is a Will Clack back.
I'm trying
in an emergency.
I'm trying not to lose it all, though.
Wait, 3 things, Ron. 3 things I got for you. So 1, I agree with the opening. Don't give up on the season quite yet. You can go 4-1 and make the playoffs. As soon as we lose 2 games, I go with Jay, and then you start looking at draft stock, and you look at which young guys like Book can you start giving more reps to so that they can get some practice in to get them better for next season, and you start resting your big names to ensure that you don't have any Mike Thomas lingering injury issues. 2, Ron, I've debated with Jansen a long time about what you just said, and I think you're being sarcastic, but I've always thought about that. In basketball and other sports, you see substituting so fast, so repeatedly, so numerously. And for quarterbacks, they always say, hey, we love stability. We want that one quarterback throughout the game. But maybe a very orchestrated and designed way of mixing and matching quarterback play to throw many different looks over the course of a game, going with the hot hand, forget the rhythm of staying in the whole game, but keep attacking the defense in innovative Sean Payton ways may be a great way for this offense to actually produce again. And I think the purists are going to say, no, man, you need that quarterback who's going to take charge of the huddle and be your game manager. I would almost like to see really dynamic substituting at quarterback in order to get the defense uncomfortable and on their heels. And the third point I'd like to make is Kwan Smith. Jay just said none of our wide receivers are making a play this year. Of course, Stevie Wonder is seeing that too. But when Kwan was out early in the year, we kept thinking, well, wait till Kwan Smith comes back. Wait till Kwan Smith comes back. And if anybody other than Harris, who's now suspended for 3 weeks, could be that guy to step up, undoubtedly it should be Kwan Smith. So there are times when Kwan Smith looks like Mike Thomas Jr., and at times it looks like you even have the question, if you got to look at the stat sheet, was Kwan even on the field? We need to get a little bit more out of him because it's just like he's a decoy out there when he actually has the ability to give you a bit more. He just needs to put it together every play, every game.
Who was saying wait for Kwan Smith? I mean, the guy's been here, what's this, third year, fourth year now? I mean,
fourth year. By Habig and the downfield blocking. Yeah, nobody on here was clamoring for him.
Looks like Michael Thomas sometimes. I mean, he's a number 4 receiver in the NFL. He's probably going to play. He's Terrence Copper, right? At the end of his career, he might be a special teams guy, but this guy has never been a guy for me that has the ceiling of being a number 1 or 2 receiver. I think his ceiling at receiver is being a number 3 guy that can stretch the field. He's a body catcher that has good speed, who's, has some physicality to him. But no, I mean, if he's your best guy, then you're in trouble.
He's Brandon Coleman deja vu. I mean, that's all he is. So, yeah, and Stills has been cut. He's even worse. Jay, you highlighted it. I mean, Stills freaking basket catch, jump ball, sets it up for the interception. So, yeah, no, it's brutal right now. George, I kind of like the analogy, but I feel like you missed a prime one. Baseball, dude. Baseball, you come out with starters, you finish with a closer. And maybe Simeon is the game manager closer that you need in the fourth quarter. I don't know. Just takes the right level of risks. But yeah, I was only half joking about that take. It dawned on me. I was like, hey, that was such a disastrous fourth quarter. He was hurt with a middle finger issue, and which is just cruel irony that we're just getting beat up at injury after another. And now we could get into the availability of people going forward. You mentioned Deontay Harris, now 3-game suspension. Cam Jordan going to break his streak of continuous games now with COVID, Ingram COVID, Ty Montgomery COVID. I blame the Cowboys for that, man. They clearly must have spread the bug over to us. But yeah, it's not that crazy of a take to throw Simeon back in there. I'm not totally done with him like you are, Jay. I mean, Taysom was 19 of 41. So what convinced you, besides his feet, that he's the guy to throw the ball for us?
His feet. He can run. Potentially shifting the game plan to make it run centric. Run the ball. Run the ball with Taysom. Throw it 25 games. Don't get behind. Right, you got all 11 starters potentially coming back for the Tampa game, and I think if Cam Jordan has 2 negative tests, if he's vaccinated, he could potentially play this week. But
I was going to say that too. Yeah, it's not official that he's out yet, Ron. He can still provide 2 tests before game time and play because he's asymptomatic.
At least from a health standpoint, your defense is going to be healthy. But I like what Taysom brings you from just an ability to make things happen. And I like what he brings you with the situation right now. I mean, guys, the truth of it is we're in a position right now where George is talking and Ron, you're talking about putting Simeon in the fourth. Like, we are in dire circumstances right now. But you win it.
But you win at all costs. And George is talking about going 4-1 over these last 5. I'm looking at the schedule. I think 4-1 is 100% achievable here. It's a pretty favorable back half of the schedule. Yeah, I know Miami's playing well, but I think Jets, Dolphins, Panthers, Falcons are all winnable games. I mean, right. Bucks, you never know what can happen. But yeah, so I'm not ready to throw in the towel on this. And Jay, you talked about not getting down early. George, let's talk about the defense, man, because for as good as they played and kept us in the game for a lot of it, the big plays revealed themselves in some big ways and just changed the outcome of this game. Those splash plays, whether it be CeeDee Lamb on the little smoke screen, whether it be Tony Pollard breaking the run, I saw a common theme. Marcus Williams doesn't ever want to come up and take an angle and make a freaking hit. Dude, he's backtracking with the runner, and he's like, oh, yeah, well, I just got to play deepest man. I just can't let him get behind me and wait for somebody else to catch up and make the play. Dude, he cost us like 10 to 15 yards on each of those plays.
Well, the Pollard was a touchdown. So,
Ron, he ran with him for 12 yards, George, side by side.
I saw it, but it's not like he gave up a touchdown. It's not like he gave up 15 yards.
No, I'm saying he cost us. Like he could have made the hit 10 to 15 yards ahead of where he actually.
No, it was bad. However you want to dice it up. I'm not playing devil's advocate on Marcus Williams on that play. It was bad. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But Ron, I still have faith in this defense. If we're in a game and the Saints need to make a stop, I'm very confident in this defense to make it happen. We've been dealing them a horrible hand and giving them really not that many reasons to get hyped up and pumped and, a reason to keep performing at an extremely high level. I know it's their job, but I mean, there's some human elements to this. So when Simeon kept going 3 and out, and the defense was just facing infinite opportunities for the offense to move the ball downfield, and then eventually they're going to crack. Cowboys game way too many turnovers. So the defense was just dealt a horrible hand to get off the field. Clickbait would throw an interception, especially late in the game, and then the defense had to go right back on there. I'm not pessimistic on this defense. If we stay tight in a game in which the offense can come around even having half the possession, this defense will come through for you. Look at the Jets game as a great opportunity to get some of their confidence back. They are a turnover-producing machine on the road. We ought to go back to those days. You got our boy Chauncey Gardner-Johnson coming back to reinstitute that confidence, that grit. You see the team, they love playing together, and no one brings that joy to the team more so than Chauncey. This is a get-right opportunity for this defense to really silence these critics who are really been tough on the defense, but I think it's too soon to give up on them.
You got me pumped up, George. 10-7, baby. Get right game. Zach Wilson,
Let's go.
Baby boy, throws 4 interceptions. Chauncey picks 6. We're talking about Tampa and going 10-7. Let's go.
Dude, so wait, I'm with y'all. I'm legitimately with y'all. This week, the Jets are the 32nd ranked defense in points and yards. George, this needs to be like that Bills game from a couple years back where we go on the road and we just run it down their throats all game long. Kamara's coming back. You got Taysom able to run the ball. The splint shouldn't matter on being able to run the ball. And I just think that's the game plan this week. You've got to just run it all over this team. Shouldn't even have to take any risks. We already highlighted it. Deontay Harris, your leading receiver, gone pecan for the next 3 weeks. That leaves you with Lil Jordan Humphrey and our boy Kwan Smith that we're talking about here. So, yeah, there is no threat in the passing game. Maybe work in a couple tight end screens. Kamara's going to be your leading receiver again, but it's got to be a rushing attack against this Jets team. This is no excuses. I mean, we just highlighted it. This is the must win of the season. You lose this game, then maybe I'll relent and come on to y'all's side. Jay, you're laughing.
Y'all's side? What do you mean y'all's side? No, we're pro Saints talk, not anti Saints talk. We're full run. We're going to win. And one thing is Sean Payton you can tell he's gotten accustomed to losing, and he needs to get that spark back under his own seat. You just said run a tight end screen. Dude, we are so predictable on those tight end screens. They used to work fantastic when
it worked with Van Ness.
Yeah, but
we threw the pick the very next play, though, thanks to Kenny Stills.
We go back to that tight end bubble screen it's just like a well. Dude, we use that too much. Sean Payton needs to reignite his creative spirit, because it just seems on the sideline he's just resigned to losing, and he's on his heels and he's rolling his eyes and scoffing a lot instead of demanding victory like yesteryear. So we need to get back to that. And Ron, you just said the magic word, and we're over 20-something minutes into the podcast before we even bring up Kamara. Our offense has been slower than the streetcar, on how we've been able to move the ball down the field. And now that we have arguably the NFL's best playmaker with the ball in his hands back on the team, really going to make life easier for everybody. We're like Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers nowadays when Kamara goes out. I mean, it's like we're out of gas when Kamara's not on the field. So it's everything that he's back, and it's going to make everything a whole lot easier, because when he has the ball in his hands, the first guy is not getting him. So it takes two to watch him. It takes two to bring him down, and that just opens up so much more for the rest of the team.
George, accustomed to losing? Get that dude. Wait, no. Accustomed to losing? Peyton is just accepting losing?
Are you watching him on the sideline?
Dude, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here.
He does not have the same vigor as before.
He's trying to squeeze $1 out of 15 cents. He's running those tight end screens because he's got no downfield threats that can get any kind of separation. And you talk about this offense sputtering. They had 400 yards of offense. If Taysom doesn't turn the damn ball over 3 times and throw a pick 6 in the fourth quarter, this is a winnable game on Thursday. So don't even give me that crap.
What's crap?
You're saying that the offense is like doomed. You're just saying like, oh yeah.
No,
well,
I didn't. I said don't run the tight end screen, and we're going to be better than ever because we have Kamara.
What I'm telling you was it was working. It was working. Don't criticize. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You got your best screen guy coming back. And like I said, dude, you don't have the downfield threats. So, like, you have to play those short games. You have to slow up that pass.
I just reversed jinxed Kwan Smith. I did that intentionally. So I called out Kwan Smith, and now he's going to have a big game because everyone's going to be like, I told you so. When Kwan's going to have a big game now. I did that intentionally.
The only big game that Kwan's going to be having this week, I'm going to expect rave reviews from Bogey Haybig. I'm going to expect them because Kwan's going to be 20, 25, 30, 35 yards blocking downfield for this rushing attack. That's going to be the recipe this week. I'm telling y'all. So, all right, George, you got me way too juiced up right there. Don't talk about a freaking 400-yard game out of this skill set, this offense, and say that Peyton is just, he's getting used to losing.
Wait,
he is, man.
Talk about squeezing $1 out of 15 cents. We praise Ireland on this show. We praise Peyton. But where are the offensive weapons on this team, right? Granted, Michael Thomas is hurt, but George had a good point with McCaffrey. Can the Saints find in the middle rounds in April somebody that's a lot like Alvin Kamara, that can run these screens, that has speed? Watching the Steelers last night, you got who's the little guy, McLeod, with all this speed. They've done a great job with their skill positions. You got the other receiver, I forget his name, but he catches all the short balls that can run. I mean, we need some more
Washington,
weapons.
You got Claypool, Johnson. I think those are all their guys.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson. He's great. We need some more weapons that can make plays in open space in addition to Deontay Harris and Alvin Kamara. Your strength, or what you thought your strength was the offensive line, but clearly it's a need going forward, some weapons.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's an easy one. Okay, wait. So I did get a little carried away there. And maybe we already addressed this one, but let's get it official for our boy Bogey Mac, because he had the fan question. George, is Taysom with the splint? And I think this is like worth consideration. I don't know that we really broke this down well enough. So is Taysom with the splint better than Simeon with all 4 fingers gripping that ball and a thumb? And keep in mind, and we'll find out about this a little bit later in the podcast, could be some wet conditions this weekend.
We have to see how much that hurt finger impacts his throwing, because there was a night and day difference on his trajectory when his finger started giving him trouble. And that goes back to the conversation from earlier. Do you have a substitute many options approach to your quarterback position, and don't go very traditional, keeping one guy out there throughout. And certain opportunities call for one, you go with Simeon. Certain opportunities call for clickbait, you go with clickbait. That is if clickbait can't throw accurately because his finger gives him issues. You saw it when those 3 interceptions in the second half last week. You shouldn't ask clickbait to throw if he can't throw accurately because of that finger. So let's see how that finger impacts his throwing ability.
And Ron, can I have the mic for a second?
Take the mic.
Speaking of conditions, you know what's at the Meadowlands the day before Saints Jets? Anybody?
Army, Navy.
Army, Navy.
Army, Navy in the Meadowlands. The conditions are never bright and sunny for the Army, Navy game. So there's going to be some conditions. Ron and George made the trip a couple years ago. I got to give a shout out to all my guys at Army. A lot of those guys we recruited are now juniors, seniors. I implore you, if you've never been to an Army Navy game, they have the spotlight, and rightfully so, on this second weekend in December, second Saturday. No other college games going on, maybe some FCS playoffs. Get to an Army Navy game. The pageantry is unreal. You got half Navy fans, half Army fans. You have all the cadets there, all the midshipmen there. It is just a hell of a scene. The flyovers before the game, you can really feel the passion at these games. I'm sure some of that conveys through the TV. But if you are a sports fan, I mean it. Get to an Army Navy game. This is the first time they're playing in the Meadowlands in years and years. That game traditionally, recently, has been in Philadelphia at the Link. That's where Ron and George went a couple years ago. But get to that game. Hopefully Army pulls it out this weekend. And speaking of Army, a little correlation going into the game on Sunday. Safety Elijah Riley, he played cornerback for Army when I was there. He's going to be starting at safety for the Jets this week. The hometown guy from Port Jefferson, New York, Long Island, New York, has started the last 2 games. Jets signed him from the Eagles practice squad. He's playing solid for them. I texted him yesterday. I said, take it easy on the hometown boys. But just a great story there. And again, Army Navy this weekend. Hope everybody tunes in and gets one of those if you can down the road. Okay,
Jay, perfect. We got a Cape Town Ron asking, is Army going to hit the over this weekend? So in case people don't know, Army 8-3, Navy 3-8. So heavy favorites here, 7-point favorites. Over under 34.5, given the conditions and the dogfight that it always is. What are you calling on this one?
I would love to hear the conditions from Red, but I feel pretty good about the under. And I got a pretty good knack for picking these Army games. Godfather, I'm not trying to come for your job, but I have some familiarity with this team. I like Army to pull it out 17-14, as the old cliche goes, especially in this game. Throw out the records. Navy plays in a tough American Conference, went down the wire with Cincinnati, won some games late. So it's going to be close. It's going to come down to the last possession, as it always does. Look for an Army field goal late in the game to pull ahead and win 17-14, hitting the under. And Army doesn't cover, but wins outright.
Oh, you got to love it. Dude, nothing like some Army-Navy drama. Jay, touching the heartstrings there. All right, look, shifting topics. So, look, we got into a lot of quarterback discussion there. And I already heard a lot of speculation on this on the radio, people hitting really rock bottom here at 5 in a row. Peyton's never lost 5 in a row. So, all right, we talked about the scenario to get to the playoffs going 4-1. George, what's the scenario that you start giving Ian Book some legitimate playing time?
A second loss. So we got to go 4-1. Once you hit 2 losses, put Book out there. See what he's got. Give him some reps. Simeon, who Simeon is. You don't want to further injure clickbait. Put Ian Book out there. My big question with Book is going to be his size. I mean, when you look at him on the sideline, he looks like an assistant coach. he doesn't have that body. NFL players, they're all massive. They're all, titan human beings out there. They're just double the size of us. And yet Ian Book looks like one of us. He looks like a very in-shape one of us. A guy that's a gym rat, but not like one of those monsters, monstars like everyone else on the sideline. So with that, I would say give Ian Book a shot, see how he can hold up taking NFL hits, see how he looks downfield. He's got a strong arm. Let's see what he can do out there because he's smart. He can manage the game as we used to expect Drew Brees to do it. I think he would have that before the play, understanding of what needs to happen, and a great long-term understanding of management, game management. But can he actually absorb those NFL hits and be an NFL body, or just be like a Jimmy Fredette who just doesn't belong out there and gets exposed immediately?
Yeah, Jay, I want to flip that one to you. Do you agree with that? Instead of going 4-1, let's just say, God forbid, we lose Jets this week and Tampa the next week. You agree with that that's Ian Book time? And I forgot to give credit on this question. This is, I hope I'm saying this right, Artis Pinner.
Artus Pinner.
I defer to the coaching staff and Peyton on that, obviously. I think Peyton's got a really good pulse on his development and where he is. And I think it's spoken pretty loudly that Book not being active, that's just kind of where, not being dressed out, that's where Peyton sees him right now. But right, if you lose this one to the Jets and you go into Tampa and you lose that one, then give him a shot and see what he is. And George, just to counterpoint what you're saying about his physique and how he's built, obviously guys like Drew Brees, Russell Wilson are the exceptions as far as size goes. But I don't think in today's game it's as much of a factor as it was, say, 20 years ago, where you have the 6'3" to 6'5" Brad Johnson, Vinny Testaverde, tall, stand-up, pocket-style quarterbacks. I think this guy in college, he was really successful with his legs as well. So how do you potentially utilize that? And hopefully, guys, we're talking about 10-7 and we're next week, and we're talking about how Peyton evolved in his game plan with Taysom, and we're not talking about Ian Book. But yeah, a couple losses. Why not run him out there?
Rob, one more thing is, if anything were to happen to clickbait, if Trevor Siemian does go back out there and goes back to 3-and-out Trevor Siemian, then Ian Book is better than that. They'd go to Trevor Siemian, but Trevor Siemian would have to show you something immediately to keep him out there while we're still vying for 4-1. If clickbait has to come out and Trevor Siemian is just looking inept again, throw Book out there.
Yeah, I don't know. My take on it is, barring injury, I don't think we're going to see it. I just don't. I don't think that Peyton can give up on Taysom like that. And I also just don't think that he's not conceding defeat, unlike what you think, George. I don't think he's thinking like, oh, Simeon's going to go out there. I think he's too concerned that Book is going to go out there and lose the game. Whereas Siemian, yeah, while he may not go out there and win the game, he's likely not going to lose the game. I know he did do that in his last start for us, arguably with his pick six. But, that's what I expect is, like, barring injury, you're not going to see Ian Book. And so I just don't think it's in the cards for him this season. But, yeah, it's fun to speculate as a fan because, when we like to play GM like this, yeah, of course, throw him out there, see if we just nailed another draft pick here. But I'm not terribly optimistic for that one. Okay. We do have. Boy, that's a hell of a question. What is the story on Peyton Turner?
Who's Peyton Turner?
Yeah. Wait, you mean Sean Payton? Yeah.
Davenport's coming back.
Yeah. Signs ticking up maybe for Davenport. George, what? We said Ramczyk not looking good for this week. Armstead maybe.
Armstead maybe, looking promising for Davenport. Kamara full green light. no ramrod. I believe that's it.
Yeah, so I mean, what can you really expect to get out of Ian Book with a depleted offensive line like this too? That's why I just think you lean on what little experience you got in the quarterback room. That's just my opinion. Look, we do have some in-game questions here. So this one's coming from our boy Patrick Shockey, Carrollton Boosters All-Star and Phenom here. Boogie was seen using a pair of binoculars in the Dome last game. And just so everybody knows, full disclosure, Boogie's chilling in the loge. And is this the most anti-Ron move of all time, George?
So, Ron, my vision has got – so I used to be able to sit anywhere in the Dome and read the back numbers and the back letters and just know and see everything. Nowadays, 32 years young, I can't see the names. And now from the 326 seats, I have trouble seeing the numbers. I don't know, man. I might need LASIK. Boogie's already gotten LASIK, so no excuses there. But sometimes it's fun to I'm not knocking Boogie because sometimes you want to zoom in on what Sean Payton's doing or when Sean Payton's yelling at a ref. It's fun to see that. Or you want to zoom in on something in particular. My vision's gone to SHIT. So I'm not knocking anybody for using binoculars because at times there's guys around you in the Dome that have binoculars and you have to go and ask them, let me see something real quick because I can't see with my 20/60 vision.
No, you want to talk about body language. Boogie is all about reading that body language. He wants to know exactly what the brow on Peyton's doing. What's that upper lip doing? He wants to know, and he loves breaking down what the coaches are doing, what that body language is doing. He primarily loves this when times are bad. He wants to see how bad they're chewing out the players. So, yeah, I'll give him that. But, George, look, if you want to go full Ron, all you got to do is go pick you up some prescription Ronnie Calvin Klein frames, bro. I know you borrow mine. You know you love them.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, dude, that's the move. All right, so look. Let's look a little bit more forward at this Jets team. Jay, you highlighted Zach Wilson. What are your thoughts on this guy? You know, the scout, the resident scout of the podcast. You know, this guy's had some ups, mainly some downs, though, this year. And, you know, it's hard to grade out Jets quarterbacks because everybody says it's just a cancerous organization. No one can seem to find success there. But I feel like this guy does have some potential. What have you seen so far?
Great arm talent. No, I mean, that's what you hear. I mean, to me, he looks like Jimmy Neutron. I mean, the guy looks like he's 12 years old. Just goes to show you that looking at somebody's face, you can never tell what they have inside, the abilities that they have inside. That's the more shallow evaluation, Ron. But this guy can throw the ball. He can get outside the pocket. He can run a little bit. He's had a tough year for the Jets. He was injured. You had the legend of Mike White come in, who threw for the most yards earlier this season, that particular week out of Western Kentucky. But Zach Wilson, he was well regarded coming out, put up incredible numbers at BYU, especially in his last year. I like what the Jets have in place as far as the quarterback. I think eventually he'll be something. Admittedly, I haven't watched a lot of Zach Wilson this year, but from what I hear, he's been a turnover machine, throwing the ball into double coverage a lot. I like Robert Saleh, the head coach there. I like what he brings. As George says, that's an organization that has bad soil, similar to the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, those are some of the two worst franchises in all of sports. The Saints go up to the Meadowlands about every 8 years to play them. The last time the Saints went there, we came away with a loss. But this game has a lot to do. Dennis Allen particularly does well against rookie quarterbacks. If you remember earlier this year, the Patriots are a whole different team right now than they were when we played them up in Foxborough in week 4. But we need a touchdown. We need to take advantage of the opportunities, similar to what the Saints did with Mac Jones, what they did with Taylor Heineke, a PJ Williams touchdown, a Paulson Debo touchdown, something like that. because the opportunities will be there and we need to snatch them up when they're presented to us.
Well, I would say more so than that, Jay, is when we get those turnovers, the offense has to capitalize and turn them into points. That's one of the things that's gotten a little more frustrating too, is, even when the defense is making the stops for you, even when they are getting you those extra chances, the offense is just not able to capitalize on them. Some of that's been the kicking game, which continues to be a saga. But yeah, a lot of it is just not having the red zone efficiency that we're used to seeing with this offense. So yeah, a little concerning there, but yeah, Jay, I agree with you. The turnovers should be there. If history tells us anything, Zach Wilson's going to give you your chances. So George, let's talk about chances, and maybe chances of rain this weekend, sleet, snow. I don't know. We got to kick it to the weatherman, Red.
Hey, Rons, it's Red, the weatherman. And this Sunday, December 12th, your 5-7 New Orleans Saints are headed on the road to take on the 3-9 New York Jets. A 12 p.m. kickoff at MetLife Stadium, which I'd like to point out, Rons, is an outdoor stadium, and the weather could play a huge role in this game. Well, let's get right on over to the weather. With a high of 46 degrees, it's going to really feel like 39 degrees. I'm looking at a 4% chance of rain in the immediate area and 11% cloud coverage with a northwest wind with rather high at 5 to 30 miles per hour. Let's break it down to 3 words, Ron. It's going to be sunny, it's going to be breezy, and it's going to be cold. And remember, Rons, one important thing, whether you like it or not, it's Red, the weatherman.
Woo, dicey conditions this weekend. We're going to see. It's going to be a little sloppy, a little wet. I don't know. Thank you, Red, for that weather report. You the man. Jay, we got one more fan question.
One more fan question. This comes from Helena Perino. We appreciate all the female listeners of this show. Should we go back to West Virginia over at the Greenbrier, Ron?
And what good will that do? You think this team needs a country club training camp right now? Hell no. We got to squeeze out every bit of juice out of this fruit that we can possibly get. We need to be sweating it out on freaking Airline Drive. That's the recipe for success. I don't want anything to do with the Greenbrier again, dude. That place is for losers, dude. So yeah, no, get me on Airline Drive next to the shrine on Airline, RIP Zephyr's baby cakes. But yeah, no, look, that's the last thing we need to be changing right now. That's good soil. You want to talk about good soil? That's good JP soil out there. All right, look, we like to talk about game predictions. We like to talk about lines, spreads, overs, unders. But we got to kick it to the expert on this matter, the Godfather.
What do you hear? What do you say, Rons? 2-3 last week. Let's get off the schneid. Pretty nasty. Let's go to the Meadowlands. I'm going to give you a pick. I don't like it. Saints, can we just get the season over with? How many more injuries can we get? A quarterback's fingers are falling off. Total 43 and a half, 43. Jets offense stinks. Saints defense still playing hard. We got some COVID issues, but all the Jets can do is really, hope and pray. This game's going to be ugly. You're going to see the Saints run the ball a lot. I don't even know if Taysom is going to have a hand by Sunday. It's going to be a quick game. This game's going to end real fast. If you don't have access to your local affiliates, CBS affiliate carrying the game, you probably won't see this game on the red zone all day. Let's go under 43. Try to get 43 and a half, but under 43 with the Saints and the Jets. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland, we got busted by that bullshit field goal at the end of the game. Some horrible officiating. What else is new? Cleveland laying 3 to the Ravens. I know we all watched that Ravens-Steelers game Sunday. It was a war. They're dinged up. They're bruised and battered. Cleveland, had to bye. They're actually playing them back to back. They had to bye after losing that tough one in Baltimore. I think Cleveland gets their revenge. Let's lay 3 points with Cleveland. Baltimore is just not just battered from the game, but they might be a team that's got more injuries than the Saints right now. Everybody's hurt for the Ravens. Okay. More injured teams. Let's go up to Cincinnati. Cincinnati, another quarterback whose fingers are falling off. Joe Burrow, we saw his pinky. He's tough. He's going to play through it. But I think we've seen with Russell Wilson this year. We saw with Taysom last week. Fingers might be, they might be pretty important for the guy that, throws the ball. San Francisco, I just think they're a better team than the Bengals. I think the Bengals are a lot of smoke and mirrors. This is their almost, this is their year. They get everybody ready for next year. Let's lay the short road favorite, the Niners, short road favorite, -1.5. But let's lay those points on the road. Again, this is really due to Burrow's. I just don't think he's going to be able to throw the ball that well with his fingers falling off. Buffalo, Tampa. Romo and Nance. Going to see a lot of points. This game is going to be in the 60s, maybe even the 70s. Let's go over 54. Tre'Davious White out for the year for the Bills. Tom Brady. Doesn't matter who he throws the ball to, but he still has Gronk and Mike Evans. Don't let that Monday Night Football fool you in the 50 mile per hour in the gale force winds. I expect the Bills to come out and sling it. Gonna be a great game Sunday afternoon. 38-35 type final. Let's go over 54 for the Bills and the Bucks. All right, I believe that's it. I'll give you one more. Let's give you one more. You know what? Let's take the road team in that Bills Bucks game. I feel everything about this game. You look at it, you say, oh man, the way the Bucks have been playing, they've been covering everything lately. They're only laying 3.5 at home. I think the Bills team is better than what they showed Monday night, and that was just a goofball game. Let's take that 3.5. Let's take those points. I think the Bills have a chance to win that game. All right, Rons, let's get off the schneid this week. Back to you, Mr. Ron, Mr. J, and Mr. George.
Thank you, Godfather. That was a great report, as always. And, Ron, that was a great line. The Greenbriers for losers. I'm going to retweet that going forward. But, guys, we got a big shout-out. We have the Bright Brothers leading an army, a brigade, 92 Hoodats to battle. They're leading them like Captain Khalifa. They're all meeting in Manhattan, taking the bus to the Meadowlands, going full Ron. And we already told them we've ordained them, deputized them as the weekend's PST correspondents. They're going to go to the Meadowlands and record the sights and sounds of the big win as we turn this season around. So shout out to the Bright Bros for leading 92 Hoodats to change the momentum around as the Saints get back on track. 4-1, Ron. 4-1, Ron. 4-1, Ron. As we go to the playoffs. Again, amen.
Amen. Hey, 4-1.
Amen.
4-1 starts with 1 right here, George. Dude, I can only imagine that environment. 92 Rons on a bus ride. Dude, that makes our bus ride from Scottsdale out to Glendale for that Cardinals game back in 2013 look like nothing, man. And that was the time of my life. So
Well,
look,
Ron, they're co-eds, so they don't go full Ron.
oh, bro.
Full con. That's
Bro.
92 people. That's more than a Pelicans game. Congratulations, Bryce.
All right. Game predictions, okay? And look, shoot me straight, all right? I know y'all had a little doubt at the beginning of this podcast, so I don't want to feel like I influenced y'all here on where you want this game to go. But George, tell us your game
Ron,
prediction.
you keep saying that. I've been 4-1 this whole time. I've never been layup. You keep repeating that. I'm full go like Saints on Sunday, full go like the Brights on Sunday, full go like Army, Navy, Army Saturday, full go. Beat the Jets. Doesn't matter if you win 3-0, 9-6, 17-13, 20-12, 1 point, 100 points. Just stop the bleeding. 5 games is too much. We have to pull it together. All eyes on Kamara as he comes back. We need some weapons. We need some ability to move the ball down the field. Gonna find a way in nasty, gritty conditions to win. Doesn't matter. Ron, you know, I've been saying we always win, then we lost 5 straight. I kind of want to jinx it and say we're going to lose, but no, I'm not putting that out in the universe. We're going to win. I don't know the score. I just know we're going to do it. We have to come through. We're going to end strong. We're going to finish strong, 4-1, playoff bound.
Oh, but Peyton's gotten so accustomed to losing.
He has. Dude, you misrepresent everything I say. But yes, he has, and he needs to get that spirit back. It's going to come back Sunday.
Okay, it better. All right, Jay, what we got for this one?
The spirit of Christmas is coming back to Sean Payton. I like the Jets, 23-16. I haven't seen the juice from this team. Until I see it, I'm going to continue to pick against them. Going up to nasty conditions. I need the Juice boys back. I haven't seen the Juice. Where has Seattle DeMario been? Pick it up. This is a team we're talking about giving a nickname to the defense, and the defense has been average to good. You don't get a nickname on defense if you're average to good. You get a nickname on defense if you're elite and talked about as the best defense in franchise history. I don't care about 3 and outs. I don't care about the human element. Make turnovers, get sacks, get pressure. Marshall Lattimore, you're the highest paid cornerback in the league. Play like it. 23-16 Jets.
Wow. All right. So
What was that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
I'm doing something.
Yeah, that something hadn't been freaking working, dude. Okay, so look. Kamara's back, and that's all that matters in this one. It really is. Like, we could have just did a 3-second podcast. Kamara's back. Ouch here. Like, dude, that's it. Kamara's going to have one of those classic road games. I'm thinking about the last 2 games he's been up in Seattle where he's just taken over the ball game. This is all going to be him. He's going to be our leading receiver. He's going to be our leading rusher. He's going to have 3 touchdowns. This game is going to go down 24-14. That's all the Jets are going to be. Not even 13. 24-13. That's all the Jets are going to be able to muster. And I just think that's the ball game. You got one guy in this game that's an all-pro, a playmaker, unstoppable talent, and he's coming back healthy. That's all you need to know. Book it. Ian book it? What? No, that's a joke. So look. So we got our game predictions in. We got our weekend of NFL predictions in from the Godfather. George, loved the hype train going to this game, all that Ron Nation. We got a little bit of a clip from the hype train going into the Dome this past Thursday. Of course, we all know how that ended, but we'll give y'all that little nugget at the end of this podcast. So, George, great episode, a little bit of fire. I'm sorry, man. You know it's all love. How you doing, man? Any final thoughts?
Oh, it's all love, always love. We can yell at each other and never actually, it doesn't mean anything. I wouldn't say it. You know, if you don't like somebody, you don't say what you mean. I always say what I mean because I love you. Don't even worry about that. No, I mean, hey guys, shout out to Hellman. He was great to us last Thursday, making us sound professional.
100,000 followers.
You know, Ron's a big fan of him and his followers. But guys, we'll see y'all back Monday night after Christmas. UTO Dolphins, we love you.
Jay, anything before we part?
No, I think Georgie sealed it up right. Looking forward to a nice December weekend. It's going to be wet out there locally. It's going to get cold. Get your white chicken chili. I'm sure Ron, domestic dudes, cooking up something nice, watching this game. Hey, we love y'all. We appreciate the support. All those people like Brian C. coming out of the woodwork and telling us that they listen. That makes our day. It makes our week. Continue to share, and we appreciate you guys listening. Take care.
Bro, a little chicken con pollo blanco, man. I freaking love that, man. Might have to cook some of that up. All right. Pro Saints Talk. Pro Saints Talk. We out here, baby.
Where you at, Hoodats? It's your boy Ron. We got DJ Doug. We got Jay. Boots on the ground right here, and these boots are made for walking. We're walking to the Dome right now.
Love that segue.
Getting here, getting to the Caesar Superdome was a little tough. Everybody fighting that traffic, you know, the traffic is terrific. Oh, there's no place like UTO. Jay, how are we feeling going into this one? We only got a couple lukewarm beers in before this one, so I don't know. My confidence level didn't get too high.
A couple, I only had one. Keithfield Dodge said he was bringing a whole 12-pack, but drank 5 before he got here. We got nothing to lose tonight, Ron. If UTO is any indication of the underwhelmingness that we felt, then we can only go up from here. So let's bring that positivity, DJ Doug.
Colin Dodge Holiday 7-pack? Didn't see it coming out of him. DJ Doug, decibel level prediction for tonight?
Oof. If everybody had a tall boy twisted T like me, I'm thinking a 124. If they play the opponent's song like last game, it might get higher than that, but it won't be the Hoodats.
Get Colin on real quick.
Passing this one over to Colin.
Colin, we need you on the Colin UTO correspondence.
What we got, boys?
Hey, confidence level going in tonight.
Well, as a Saints fan, I always go in confident. I'm excited to see Taysom.
Is Taysom going to be enough of a spark tonight? You got no left tackle, no right tackle. Pete, hey.
Look, I have to be full honest right now. Like, I go in so confident. Like, I want to see Taysom just absolutely truck bitches. Sorry for cursing. Sorry for cursing.
Sorry for cussing.
Can you speak to your holiday 7-pack you brought onto the overflow?
No. But in all honesty, Saints fans, I'm going in confident. I'm excited to see Taysom play. We can't lose this game, and I just have to hold out hope. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Hey,
Take it home.
we'll see you on the other side. We out.